don't want to have recorded. But she was trying I know it's a board meeting.
How are you?
All right, just tell me when I start.
Started a quarter after.
I know what time you start. I mean for the camera.
Oh, good one. Okay.
I think Sabrina lost the girls.
Now we lost Sabrina too. It's like in a horror movie. Everyone goes to look for that person, they don't come back. Stay tuned. The rabbi will be like, I'm never leaving the church again.
Yeah. Did you figure it out?
But we could get great readings. People would be tuning in. It's not Sabrina. No. We're too smart to go anywhere. All right, Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Shabbat services. I'm filling in today for Rabbi Bloom, who is in Saskatoon, which is in Canada, and he's perfectly healthy, and he'll be back next week. Is that right, Karen?
He's gone for 11 days, but
Okay. Next Shabbat.
Next Shabbat, yeah.
I just don't know.
All right.
Probably.
He will be back.
Show up and you'll find out. Okay, so we are going to start on page 1 with Yedid Nefesh. And please sing along with me. Yedid Nefesh Avarachman. Yedid Nefesh Avarachman. Mishochav Decha. Eretz Onecha. Mishochav Decha. Eretz Onecha. Yarutz Zadecha. Kemo hayam. Nishtachaveh El Muhadarecha. We will continue on page 3 with Lehu Neranana. Lehu Neranana, Neranana, Ladonai Naria, Naria, Letzur Yishenu. Lehu Neranana, Neranana, Ladonai Naria, Naria, Letzur Yishenu. Nechad Mafanav, Betoda, Izmiro Narialo, Kiel Gadol, Adonai, Umelech Gadol, Al Kol Elohim. Lehu Neranana, Neranana, Ladonai Naria, Naria, Letzur Yishenu. Lehu Neranana, Neranana, Ladonai Naria, Naria, Letzur Yishenu. All right, we've got a great group and lots of singing. Thanks for helping me tonight, guys. We will go to Ramemu on page 12 at the bottom. Ramemu Adonai Eloheinu V'nishtachavu Lehar Kodsho. Ramemu Adonai Eloheinu V'nishtachavu Lehar Kocho. Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu V'hishtachavu Lehar Kosho. Page 13, Mizmor LeDavid. Mizmor LeDavid, Havul Adonai B'nei Eli, Havul Adonai, Kavod Va'oz, Havul Adonai, Kevod Shemo Yishtachavu Adonai L'Hara Kodesh, Kol Adonai Al Hamayim El HaKavod Kirim Adonai Almayim Rabim Kol Adonai Varoach Kol Adonai Be'odar Kol Adonai Shaber Arazim Vayshaber Adonai Et Arzei Havanon Vayarkiem Kemo Egel Lebanon V'Sirion Kemo Ben Re'emim Kol Adonai Chotzer Lavakodesh Kol Adonai Yachil Midbar Yachil Adonai Midbar Kadesh Kol Adonai Yechol El Ayalot Vayechesov Yerarot Uvechalot Kulo Omer Kavod Adonai Lama Avuya Shalai Yishev Adonai Melech Leolam Adonai Oz Le'amo Yiten Adonai Yivarech Amo Shalom. Hey. And a lot of cute babies just walked into the room. Just in time to welcome Shabbat on page 15, Lecha Dodi. Let's see, what melody should we do? Let's do our traditional, switch it halfway through, first two, last two.
Okay.
So let's start us off here.
Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekalela. Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekalela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad, Yishmiyanu el hamichad, Adonai echad, U'shemo echad, L'Hashemo tiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekalela. Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, B'nei likrat kala, pnei Shabbat lekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat lekabela.
Bottom of 17.
Yaminu small tifrotzi, v'et Adonai tarisi, al yaish ben parti, v'nismecha ben avila lecha dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat lekabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat lekabela.
Please rise and face the entrance as we welcome the Shabbat bride.
Oliva shalom atertala, gam besimcha u'v'sohala, tov emuneh am segula, bo'ichala. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat lekabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat lekabela.
And to any mourners in our midst, we say, Hamakom Yinachem Etchem B'tov Sha'ar Avalei Zion Yerushalayim. You may be seated. Page 19, Song for Shabbat. Mizmor shir leyom haShabbat, tov lehodo le'Adonai, u'lezamer l'shimcha elyon, u'lezamer l'shimcha elyon, l'hagid b'boker hasecha, ve'emunat ha'balelot, alei asur ve'aleina vel, alei higayon ve'chinor, mizmor shir liyom haShabbat, tov lehodo le'Adonai, u'lezamer l'shimcha elyon, u'lezamer l'shimcha elyon. We continue silently to the middle of page 20. Sadikat Amar Yifra, Ke'eretz Lebanon, Yizkeh Sheturi, Bebeit Adonai, Bechatzrot Eloheinu Yafrichu, Oyenu B'Sewa, D'Sheni Merayim, Yizu Lehagid, Yashar Adonai, Suri Velo Alatabo. Adonai Malach Ba'ut Lavesh Lavesh Adonai Asik Hazar Afti Kontelo Ban Timot Nachon Kisecha Me'az Me'olam Ata Naseu Naharot Adonai Naseu Naharot Olam Yiseu Naharot Dochya. Bottom of page 21. Mikolot Mayim, Mayim Rabim Adirim, Mishperei Yam, Adir Amarom, Adonai, Eidotecha, Ne'emnu Me'od, Lebeitecha Nava, for the call to prayer on page 22. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Mevorach Le'olam Va'ed. You may be seated. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidbaro ma'ariv ha'arevim. Yom v'layla, halal or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Uma'avir yom u'mevi layla, uma'avdil ben yom u'mevi layla, Adonai tzavot shemo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimlach, aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv ha'arevim. Okay, page 24, Ahavat Olam. I'm going to invite our 3 almost 7th graders to come up and help with this one because you guys all have such lovely voices. I know you haven't sung it in a while, so I will help you just in case you need it. Okay. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahaletah, Amcha Ahaletah, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Otanu limadeta. Al-Kei Adonai Eloheinu v'shachreinu, u'kuneinu nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Yichem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, u'va'et negei yomam v'layla, negei yomam v'layla. Ve'ahavata al tasir, mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael, Ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavecha, u'bechol nafshecha, u'bechol me'otecha, ve'hayu הדברים האלה אשר אני מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך ובביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בעיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. We continue silently to the bottom of page 20. La Alright, Lila, you're going to be back up for Hatsi Kaddish. Just been warned. Thank you guys. This is actually, she's going to kill me for saying this, but it's a very special Shabbat for me because it's the first time that since my daughter turned 12 and officially became bat mitzvah, even though her bat mitzvah is not until October of next year, but it's the first time we're in services together and she counts for the minyan. But we don't need her to count tonight because we have like 3 minions, which is amazing. Alright, we're on top of page 30. And then the Emunah holds up the Hayam. We're at the top of 32. Tov Ratzon Kivu Elechem, Moshe B'nai Yisrael, Lacha Anu Shira B'Simcha Rabba, Ve'amru Kulam. Mi Chamocha Ba'elim Adonai, Mi Chamocha Nedar B'Kodesh, Norati Lo, O Sefele, Norati Lo, O Sefele. Chazak mimanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Ya'al Yisrael. Amen. 33 Hashkivenu, and get ready because we're definitely doing the round tonight. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. U'shmor tzveiteinu, u'aleinu, l'chaim u'shalom, ve'ata ve'ad olam. Start on this side. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukkot shlomecha, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'orei sukkot shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Please rise. Ve'shamru b'nei Yisrael et hashabat, lasot et hashabat le'dorotam b'rito olam.
Ve'yu b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Ve'shamru b'nei Yisrael et hashabat, lasot et hashabat le'dorotam b'rito olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, asa
invite up Lila Levinson, bat mitzvah in 1 month from now to lead us in Hatzi Kaddish. Maybe 5 weeks. But who's counting, right?
Sorry.
Other one.
Yikadal, Shemei Rabba.
Amen.
Madi Barach, Yute, Vimach, Machute.
Uchayetachol Beit Yisrael. Bagala, Ubizman Kari. Amen. Yeshmei Rabba Mevorach. Le'olam Olam Le'omaya Yibarach.
Yibarach, V'yishtabach, V'arvi Jamam, V'yinaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitala, Shmei Kudashah,
Richu.
Le'elam, Yikol Berchata, V'shirata,
Tushbechata V'nechemata, Damiran Be'alma.
V'yimeru.
Amen.
Please remain standing for the private Amidah, which begins on page 37 and ends on page 48. Finished with the Amidah, you may be seated. Oh, say
Shalom B'Rama. Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Ve'imru, Imru, Amen. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Amen.
We continue with the Matbea Tefillah. Paul, do you want to do it tonight? Okay, great. I've asked you to recommend.
We do creation of numbers on it,
It's up to you.
but I don't.
ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם. ויכל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, אל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, קונה שמיים וארץ. מגן אבות בדברו, בחיי מתים במאמרו, האל הקדוש שאין כמוהו, המניח לעמו ביום שבת קודשו, כי בו רצה להניח להם, כי בו רצה להניח להם, לפניו נעבוד ביראה ופחד, ונודה לשמו בכל יום תמיד, מעין הברכות. אל ההודעות, אדון השלום, נקדש השבת וברך שלי, ומניח לקדושה, המקדוש מעונן, זכר למעשה בראשית. אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, רצה בנוחתנו, קדשנו במצוותיך, ותן חלקנו בתורתך, סבנו מטובך, ושמחנו בישועתך, ותאר ליבנו לעובדך, באמת, ותאר ליבנו לעובדך, באמת. והנחילנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה וברצון, שבת קודשך וינוחו בה ישראל מקדשי שמך, ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. יתגדל ויקדש שמי רבי, יאמר תברכיותי וימליך מלכותי, וחייכון וביומכון ופרי לכל בית ישראל, בגלה בזמן קריב ימרו, אמן. יהי שמי רבא מבורך, לעולם ולעולמי יתברך. ברוך וישתבח ויבואר ויברמה ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי וקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמא וימרו, אמן. תקבל צלות הון ובהון דכל ישראל, קודם לבון יבישמעיה וימרו, אמן. ישלום הרבה מן שמיה וחיים, עלינו ועל כל ישראל וימרו, אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, וימרו, אמן.
All right, time for a little mini drash. So, as most of you already know, last Saturday a rocket was fired by Hezbollah in Lebanon and hit an Israeli soccer field in, I believe it's pronounced Majdal Shams. tragically killing 12 children that were playing a game of soccer. The town of Majdal Shams consists almost entirely of Druze, a minority in Israel that's actually flourishing there. And sadly, all the children who were killed were part of that community. My first exposure to the Druze people was during my birthright trip, which was 20 years ago at this point. Our bus driver was Druze, so we had the opportunity to learn a lot about that community. That, you know, when you're in the U.S., you don't hear a lot about the Druze people. So after the attack last week, I decided to do a little bit of research about the Druze people, and I wanted to share some of that with you tonight. So there are about 150,000 Druze living in Israel. Worldwide, the estimates are between 800,000 and 2 million. Most of them live in Syria, but there are large communities also in Lebanon and Israel, and then of course in the diaspora or abroad. But the fastest growing Druze community in the world is actually in Israel. It's increased over 1,000% since 1948. Most of the Druze live in Israel's north in the Carmel region. There's also communities near Haifa and in the Golan Heights, which is where this attack occurred. While Israeli Druze are known to be fiercely loyal to Israel, Israeli citizenship is optional in the Golan, and for many years there were very few Druze that elected to follow that path. They mostly had a stronger tie to Syria. However, the trend has been shifting in recent years, and more Druze in Golan actually have been choosing Israeli citizenship as the ties to Syria over the generations have weakened. There was a big jump in citizenship since the beginning of the Civil War, and actually an even bigger jump since October 7. So more and more Druze in the Golan are electing to become Israeli citizens, and that's an interesting trend. I think it says a lot. There are currently thousands of Druze in the Golan who are Israeli citizens. So a little bit about the religion, because sort of like Judaism, Druze is a religion and an ethnicity, but even more so because you can't convert to be Druze and you can't convert out of it. The religion began in Egypt about 1,100 years ago. So it grew from a group of Shiite Muslims who believed that the Caliph of Egypt at that time was actually the divine reincarnation of God, kind of like a Moshiach. So they believe he will return someday and bring an era of world peace. There's not a lot known about the religion because it's kept secret even from most people who are Druze. It's only the elders who are allowed to kind of study the religious texts. But it is known that they're monotheistic. They believe in reincarnation. And interestingly, they recognize as holy figures from our tradition, Moshe, Noah, and Adam, but they also recognize Plato, Socrates, Jesus, Muhammad, and Alexander the Great. Very interestingly to me, they recognize Yitro, who's Moshe's father-in-law, as a prophet. And their biggest holiday, which is a 3-day pilgrimage to Tiberias, is in honor of Yitro. So back in 1948, during the War of Independence, the Druze people actually fought on the Jewish side. Today, Druze men are required to complete Israeli army service, except in the Golan, as we talked about. And this is unique because service in the IDF is not compulsory in any of the other many Arab Israeli communities, except within the Druze. So not only do they serve in the army, but they are disproportionately at the highest ranks and the most elite units of the IDF. So I don't want to go too much down this path, but there's been the commentators on this attack have been particularly confusing and a very confusing situation overall. Some people view this as just retribution for what happened in Gaza, and then others, because this is an Arab community, aren't sure if they're supposed to celebrate it or not because there were Arabs that died. And then others feel like they had it coming because there's so many of them in the Israeli army, even though it's optional to go on. So interestingly, there were some pro-Palestinian influencers who initially celebrated the attack, and then they, believe it or not, didn't know the history of Israel about the Druze people, and they were informed about it and then kind of like recanted, and some said, well, they're not really Israeli because Golan is Syria, so they were Syrians. Or they said that Israel orchestrated the attack through the Iron Dome. So anyway, don't want to go too much down that path, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention that the reaction to this particular attack has been very confusing. All right, so I hope everyone learned some new facts about the Druze people, which are an important part of Eretz Yisrael. All right, please rise for the Kiddush. Ariella, Eyal, and Andrew are getting called up to the front.
Yay!
Do this with me.
It's page 55.
Oh, thank you, Karen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam,
Asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho v'yahal u'ratzon v'intilanu, zikaron l'maaseh bereshit, ki hu yom tehillah l'mikra'ei kodesh, zecher yetziat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'charta, v'tanu kidashta, mikol
All right, and we continue with the blessing for children. It's gracious. I don't know if that makes you more or less likely to want it. Okay, for boys, we say Yisimcha Elohim Ephraim Menashe, and for girls
Yisimech Elohim Kesara Rivka Rachel Leah,
and for all we say
Yivarechecha Adonai Yishmerecha, Yair Adonai Pa'alecha V'chinecha, Yisa Adonai Pa'alecha V'semecha Shalom.
Can you hear our son?
Okay. We conclude on page 57 with Aline. Aline l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'ateit g'dula l'yoser b'reishit, shelo asanu gorei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot Avraham, shelo samchel b'Abraham, v'goraleinu k'chol hamonam, v'anachnu gorim, u'mishpachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, malchei hamachim, hakadosh baruch hu, shehu notei shamayim meyoser haaretz, u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim b'ma'al, u'shtinatu zo, b'kavei beromim, hu Eloheinu eino, ele malkeinu efesulato, rakatu b'torato, v'tata hayom v'hashemoto, ele vavecha, ki Adonai hu Elohim, b'shamayim v'ma'al, v'al haaretz Kakatu b'toratacha Adonai yimlach le'olam b'ad. Ne'emar b'chaya Adonai l'melech ha'kol ha'aretz, v'yom hahu yeh Adonai echad.
Shalom. Shalom.
You may be seated. There is a baby singing like right in tune with that. That was amazing. This Shabbat, we lovingly recall the memory of our departed relatives and friends whose yahrzeit we observed during the week of 28 Tammuz to 5 Av. Louis Aldef, Aaron Bart, Minnie Dane Askey, Simi Baum, John A. Berman, Martin B. Cohen, Morris Cantor, Philip Kaufman, Lena Clore, Rayana Leitner, Sylvia Levinson, Reggie Martyr, Edith Moss, Miriam Nash, Rosalie Osseroff, Anna Pulse, Benjamin Rosenstein, Morris Rothblatt, Sam J. Rubin, Thomas Saunders, Donald Schaefer, Henry Alton Schmulowitz, Barnett Schwartz, Sheila Rose Seal, Michael Shaw, Henry Snyder, Janice Leah Standell, Claire Stein, Lawrence W. Stone, Morris Weiner, Tony Well, and Doreen Wolf. Recent passings are Miriam Polak Sarazan, mother of Lauren Jaffe, and Roma DeCalo, mother of Niv DeCalo. If you are observing yahrzeit or it's your custom to do so, please rise and join me in the Mourner's Kaddish on page 61.
Yitgadal v'yitgadash be'rabah.
Amen.
Ya'amad yivrach v'yutei v'yamich malchutei. V'chayechon v'yomeichon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael. V'alav v'zman karim v'yimru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabban borach le'olam olei amaya. Yitorach v'yishabach v'yitvar v'yitram v'yitnasei. Yitadar v'yitalev v'yithalal shmei tu b'shar. Le'elam mikol v'yachata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata. V'amiram v'yamav. Amen. Yehi shlomo rabba v'yishemaya. Chayim aleinu v'yokol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. Oseh shalom v'namav. V'yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'yokol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen.
May the memory of those who come here to say Kaddish for be a blessing to you. All right, announcements. Let's see. Tomorrow services are at 9:30. There is text study tomorrow at 9 on Zoom with Susan Simon. A lot of activities coming up. So next Friday is a rock and roll Shabbat service at 6:15. You can sign up for dinner. Next Saturday, August 10th, bat mitzvah of Anita Engel. Let's see, morning minyan, Monday and Thursday, 8 a.m. as usual, and Wednesdays, text study, 9 a.m. at Polista Cafe. Let's see, there's also another special Kabbalat Shabbat coming up on Friday, August 16th. So there's a pizza dinner sponsored by WTVA and PJ Library following the service. And then special speaker Alyssa Strauss, who's a TBA member and just wrote a book about caretaking. She's speaking on August 17th. What else am I missing? Karen, Susan? Mahjong tomorrow. And then do we have any guests tonight? No? All right. We got a lot of people though. It's great. All right, we will conclude on page 65 with Hatikva. Please rise. Kol od balevav kanima nefesh Yehudi homia ufazeh mizrach kadima ayim letzion sofi
Yerushalayim, Liyotam Choshi, Be'artzeinu, Eretz Zion, Yerushalayim.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Do we
Shalom.
have challah? Do we have challah in the back?
There is.
All right, you want to do the bracha for us?